The views, information, and opinions expressed during the following program are solely those of the individuals involved and do not necessarily represent the views of Access Communications, its representatives, or its employees.
Well, good evening, everyone. Welcome to our regular council meeting of March 24th, 2025. Can we have a motion to adopt the agenda as presented? Councillor Dubowski, Councillor Willezer, all in favor? Carried. Up first, we have our first ever double visitor winner to the council chambers. You were here just a month ago with another banner, and just this past weekend you just won last week you won another banner.
March 15th, Saturday, March 15th in Regina.
Excellent. So we were best of the West, and now we are provincial champions.
The Saskatchewan Cheerleading Association provincial champions. That is correct.
Well,
in our division, which happened to be the Scholastic, intermediate Scholastic level 2 division.
Excellent.
There were 1,800 athletes there, so it was a pretty big deal from all over Saskatchewan, and
wow.
It's quite the honor and privilege to have placed first again this year.
Well, Estevan, welcome your ECS cheer team provincial champions. Excellent, good stuff. Congratulations. Do we want to take a quick photo again? Council back here.
All the way in on an angle, everyone.
Is green enough?
You did an exceptional job.
I mean, I think, I don't know, as long as these guys are taller than me.
Yeah, a little bit. Gotcha. They're chuckling around more than we are.
Everyone looking this way. Big smiles. A couple more. Excellent.
Excellent. Thank you for coming tonight. Sharing your banners. Good luck in the future.
Thanks for having us.
See you next year. Thank you.
Hey, I need to talk to you about the small cookie campaign.
Sounds good. Just one photo eating a cookie. That's what Anyways, that's awesome. Good stuff. Can we have a motion to adopt the minutes? Councillor Roba, seconded by Councillor Mouse. Any questions, comments? All in favor? Carried. I guess that was the minutes of the last meeting, sorry. Original communications, delegations, and petitions. Up first, we have Estevan minor baseball request for loan to be canceled. Mr. Mel Murray, did you want to come up to the front there? Just let me find it here. I just gotta go. So, in lieu of not receiving the financial assistance for the 2025 season, For the City Ball Diamonds and Facilities, Estevan Minor Baseball Organization is asking the city to consider canceling a couple of loans that we currently exist with us. We are proposing that the canceled loans and incoming money from the provincial tournaments that we are hosting this year and last year, we anticipate that we will be able to do the maintenance upgrades to the city ballparks ourselves. We are hopeful that this can be a workable solution, as we know there are many benefits to the city and its businesses when we host provincial tournaments in our city. We thank you for the consideration. Mr. Murray, do we have a motion for this? Mel, can you give us a little rundown or anything like that? How many, I guess I have a couple questions to begin.
Sure.
Where do we go? So when we host a provincial tournament, how many people come with each team, would you per se? Obviously, there's probably a dozen players, you know, times up
like
by 2.
this year here, we're hosting the 11U, so you get between 12 and 15 players, their parents and their grandparents.
Yeah.
The 11U, you get way more grandparents. We're also hosting the 18U. You're going to get 15 to 20 players because they carry way more players, and you get their parents. So you're looking at 60 people per team.
60 people per team, and then on an average, we're looking at 8 to 12 teams coming in.
14 teams.
14 teams, so, you know, it's quite a bit of people coming into our city, even at a couple $100 a person, you know,
Yeah.
we're looking at 50, 60,000 just for, you know, for one team to come in.
Right, and this has been going on for years. Like when we host tournaments, we try to host double tournaments or triple. Last year we hosted a triple tournament, which was pretty heavy on us. This year we got a double one, a single one, and then the select tournament. So we do have quite a few teams coming in again this year.
Excellent. Good stuff. Any questions from council? Councilor Leeser?
I make the motion to deny this request. This request for $55,000 for shale was provided to our parks manager in preparation of her budget this year. And when it was decided that it would not fit operationally, then the request came in front of council and was deliberated at that time. And council decided that we did not have it in our budget this year to replace the shale on the 2 remaining diamonds. And now to negate the previous loans would still be an expense to the taxpayer, and for that reason, I am against this request.
Do we have a seconder to that motion? Councilor Johnson? Any questions or comments at this time? All in favor? 6 in, 1 out. So I guess there we have it, Mr. Mel.
Okay. Thank you for your time, I guess.
Yep, we will leave it at that and we'll be in touch.
Okay.
Up next, we have Women of Distinctions Awards donation request. We gear up for the annual Southeast Saskatchewan Women Distinction Awards. Schedules take place on May the 2nd at the Estevan Powered Dodge Curling Center. We are excited about this opportunity to continue celebrating the achievements of the remarkable women in our community. On behalf of the Southeast Women Distinction Committee, we are reaching out to ask the city to sponsor the event. As our official sponsor, in lieu of cash donation, we would ask for the donation of basically the rental and everything that comes with renting the curling rink to be waived. In exchange for this in-kind donation, you will receive name mentions at the event, City of Estevan logo printed on our material, banner, 4 seats. We would also like to have one representative from the City Council provide greetings from the city at this event. So your support this premises remarkable. Your involvement not only strengthens our community commitment to diversity and inclusion, but also showcases your dedication to celebrating women for their extraordinary contributions. Now, so far we have a quote that already has been given a 50% discount. So the remaining amount to be paid would be $1,265. So we're at a 50% discount right now. We're looking to go the full 100%. Do we have a motion from council? Would you guys like to comment before we?
Well, certainly.
Yeah.
I did want to say the 50%. So we've been working with Aaron closely because we've moved the event to a city facility, which is going to make things a lot easier, I think, on all of us. So we've had some great conversations. We also are going to set up with another event. So the 50% that Aaron has given us is because we're sharing setup costs, setup times because of the sportsman dinner.
Yeah,
and so then there's less for everybody to do for setup and takedown, and we're going to continue to try and do that. I think it really, really will benefit all of us to try and share those dates and not have to set up and take down, and to have it in a city facility. So last year was in the Wiley Mitchell, so this year at the curling rink is going to be super beneficial for all of us.
Excellent. Councilor Verba?
Thank you, Worship. I'm just curious, the sportsman's dinner, my first thing was who was the other person, and so the sportsman's dinner is the one. What is the rental that we're charging the Bruins?
First I heard of it, actually.
So I guess my question would be, the Bruins haven't gone, right, so the Bruins haven't come forward yet for any kind of donation. So I believe whatever we do tonight, we're going to be doubling up with the Bruins. So I think we did have last week, our last meeting, the strippers at Cabaret, and we gave them the reduced rate, but we went against our policy. And so right now we have another organization that, I mean, you guys are doing great work and the money does get donated back, but we also have a policy with nonprofits when they rent our facility. And so I think what Aaron has done by giving the 50% off is by looking at the savings that we're doing with you guys working and finding the synergies between the two groups. So I just caution that we're doing this too often and that we have a policy to follow. So I would make the motion that we proceed with the recommendation from Aaron and that we give the 50% donation because of the fact that we're able to do that in the fact that we're finding the organization with the sportsman's dinner at the same time.
Do we have a seconder for that motion, Councilor Laser?
Thank you, Your Worship. I will second the motion. I would like to further clarify the previous decision. When the strippers tournament comes to Estevan, they are paying full ice fees for Affinity Place for the duration of the tournament, and that weighs heavily into the decision to offer them the venue free of charge because there is already significant revenue for the city. I agree with Councillor Verba that there should be support from the city for nonprofits, and that comes in the 50% savings, which was the initial price quoted to you. And then by working with Aaron and the other group, you've now received an additional 50% off. So I think that's substantial, and that's going to help those dollars move further. But that remaining 25% should still be charged to each organization so that the city does have some cost recovery for these events.
Any other questions, comments? Councillor Elliott?
Not so much a question, thank you, Your Worship. The $1,250, this is what we're talking about? That's the total?
Yep.
Okay, I'm just going to say, working in an industry that requires these kind of decorations and whatnot on a regular basis, we're selling this for a song as it is. And I appreciate, everything that your group does, and I think it's wonderful that you guys celebrate the successful women of the Southeast. It's important to do, but I would have to concur with the motion and just say we'll go with what's been arranged and offered.
Any other questions, comments? Seeing none, all in favor? Carried. Thank you for coming in tonight.
Thanks for hearing us out. Thank you.
Up next, we have the GFL cart report for February 2025. Do we have a motion to accept the cart report? Councillor Johnson, Seconded by Councillor Mouse. Any questions, comments? All in favor? Carried. Written reports of committee, Estevan Regional Library Minutes, February 2025. Do we have a motion to accept the library's report? Councillor Elliott, second by Councillor Dubowski. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, all in favor? Carried. Southeast Transportation Planning Committee of January 2025. Do we have a motion to accept this? Councillor Johnson, seconded by Councillor Veroba. Questions or comments? Seeing
comments.
Okay. Councillor Johnson.
Mayor Cernick, there's going to be a small light coat of application put on the truck route bypass around Estevan and on the way to Maccoon by the Department of Highways this summer. And it's a light coat. That's to preserve the asphalt that's there. And there's going to be a heavier application, they call it a heavier application, going on from Estevan Highway 47 South all the way to, let's say, Torquay in that area, Tribune, a heavier coat to protect that highway also. So there's two things that are happening in and around our area this summer with the Department of Highways that I can mention. And I have a meeting tomorrow. If there's any concerns that need to be addressed, then I can take them to the meeting tomorrow that's in Carlisle. I did mention one to Jeff this evening earlier that's come up, and I got some pictures now, so we'll be able to see what we can do there. But that's everything. Thank you.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Do we have well, we had a seconder, did we not? Yeah. All in favor? Gary. Up next, executive reports, tax assessor, list of land and arrears, 2025. This is quite the list this year. Last year, the list was 444,983, and this year the list totals, where is it? Whoa, she's a couple pager here. 648,344.29. So we have a long list of arrears from the tax assessor, and the recommendation would be for council by resolution to remove any property which owes less than half a year of the previous year's levy from the listing. The properties affected are bolded. Do we have a motion for the list of arrears? Councillor Johnson.
I'll make that motion.
To accept the recommendation?
Yes, accept the recommendation.
Seconded by Councillor Mouse. Any questions, comments? Councillor Mouse.
Yeah, thank you, Your Worship. This doesn't eliminate the tax. This is just taking them off the list. Is that correct?
Of arrears, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, Councillor Johnson?
Yeah, Mayor Cernick, all these properties, are they vacant land around the outside of Estevan? And can you tell me where some of these parcels are? No?
Thank you, Councillor Johnson. So I can tell you that they are vacant properties. We can't name them in this report. That's under the LA FOIP, so they can look up the plan number online on IC if they want to know the actual property owner.
Seems like a lot of them, yeah. Thank you very much.
Okay, excellent. We had a motion and a seconder. All in favor? Carried. Up next, land development, proposed cannabis retail store, 420 King Street. There's Richard, I didn't snuck in. So we are proposing another cannabis retail store. The site is at the old SLGA liquor store in the Estevan Market Mall, which is now, can somebody help me out what it's called there now? Just LG liquor store, okay, so, or LB, so. I don't want to get that wrong, give them a little plug. So that'll be in the same building. Recommendation is it's recommended that council consider approval of DP 004 2025, subject to the standard conditions and number one, maintenance of both provincial and federal approvals or licenses for the commercial sale of cannabis products. Do we have a motion to accept this report? Councillor Veroba. Seconded by Councillor Elliott. Any questions, comments? Councillor Veroba.
Thank you, Your Worship. I just wanted to remind anyone that maybe forgot that the provincial government did open up it. Basically, it's no different when they're opening up marijuana shop, whether or not they're going to be opening up a shoe store. It's all for the customer to decide whether or not Estevan has enough business for it to survive. And so best of luck to this business. I guess in my opinion, it's right in the middle between the one over in the plaza by Boston Pizza and the one over by Walmart. So it's just evening out the square of where we have everything. So yeah, it's best of luck to the new business.
Best of luck. Do we have a seconder, or did we get that far yet? Oh, yeah, Councillor Elliott. So questions, comments still? No, seeing none. Councillor Mouse, did you?
Yeah, I just want to throw in the round. Thank you, Your Worship. Councillor Verooba mentioned there's no limit to the amount. It could be a shoe store or whatever. I'm just asking, do we really need another cannabis store in town? I mean, it's legal, it's all allowed, that's all fine and dandy, but is it really necessary?
That's a very good question, but there's nothing in the way of, there's no limit. Councillor Verooba.
Thank you, Worship. I just wanted to say the one biggest comment I get a lot of is why does council let another pizza place in town? Why are we opening up one more pizza place? Why are we opening up? People could say that if we wanted to open up a convenience store or another restaurant. It's free enterprise. It's a business person who wants to come into our community. Why would we ever say no? So it's whoever can run the best business, I guess, gets to have the best business. So in the beginning, the provincial government had a big lottery and there was only so many licenses that were allowed to have in a community. And yeah, Estevan, I believe in the beginning had 2, and we had huge discussions over that. And to my knowledge, there has not been any issues related to any of these businesses being open. So like I said before, it's one of these things now, it's legal. It's no different on the different liquor stores, the different pizza places, the different shoe stores that we have in Estevan, so.
Great. Any other questions, comments? All in favor? Carried. Up.
Opposed?
Got her? Up next, land development services for 982 Dryden Road. The matter is in response to the owner wants to be able to sell their property to a private landowner for the purpose of constructing a residence. It is located at the northern end of Dryden Road. So long story short, there are no water and sewer going to those lots, those northern 5 lots, and in order for that lot to get water and sewer, we're basically looking at $260,000, kind of ballpark. So we are at, and then we'd have to get into an agreement with everybody on that line to get hooked up. So the recommendation is recommended that council authorize the city to enter an agreement for servicing with purchaser of 982 Dryden Road with the following requirements. That on-site services be limited to water, well, cistern for water supply and holding tank for wastewater. That the landowner is required to connect to pipe services with 1 year if the service, of the service lines being extended to the property. Reasoning for this recommendation is that the provision of pipe services to the property is not economical at this time. Richard, do you have anything to add?
Thank you for your worship. I guess the only thing we could add is that this lot's been there for a while. It was purchased about the same time when I started here by Lutheran Church organization. They weren't able to develop, and it's been up for sale ever since. There are multiple people, interested in purchasing there. The properties that are south of there, they are also on-site. We don't have any recorded problems with them, but we don't have any agreements saying that if a line were constructed along the frontage that they would be forced to hook up. This would be a first case where that would happen. And I guess it's a decision that council has to make. If we allow on-site development, that property can be developed right now. Otherwise, the only way to develop it is to get those lines extended there.
Okay. Do we have a motion to Councillor Verooba?
I got a question.
Okay, let's go with it.
Okay, so Richard, my question is, because this property would be the only one that would be made to hook up to the service lines, then the possibility of having the service lines is not in the near future at any time, because why would we spend the $200 and some thousand to put the service lines up there to only have one property hook up to it, if I know no one else is actually being told they have to? I guess my question is, why are we putting that in there?
That kind of an agreement has always been standard practice for me. These properties were developed a long time ago, and the city, I guess, didn't do that at that time. This is something that I have been doing. As for your statement there, yes, something could happen economically in the RM or what have you, that those lines could go in 2 years. Then again, it may be 30 years before they go in. We don't know. The other problem with those lines, right, is they only service land on one side, which makes them doubly expensive compared to most places in the city where you have lots on both sides.
So in other words, the people who are purchasing this property are well aware that there may not ever be service lines put in, and they're prepared to have their own water and wastewater.
I've had recurring conversations with one potential buyer, and this has been explained in detail to them, what my normal practice is, subject to council approval, of course. Other people have just been asking, I'd like to build there potentially. It's listed by Realtor. Do you allow on-site servicing?
So I guess, are we hindering the possibility of future sales in that area by making them have the one-year agreement in there? Or is that something they look forward to? I guess is my question.
I don't see this as a hindrance.
Okay.
No.
It's just more for if the lines do get ran and then that property has to hook up within a year. That's right, correct?
Yeah, I guess, thank you, Your Worship and Council. The other thing that could happen too, though, is water wells. I used to work in rural communities as well. Water wells do have a shelf life. So if a new water well had to be dug there because the existing one collapsed, Water Security Agency on any application like that triggers referral to the municipality, and then the municipality could put that agreement like that as a condition as well. So over time, it is possible that other properties could have that condition on.
Okay. Do we have a motion for this? I see no motion. Councillor Mouse?
Yeah, thank you, Your Worship. I would move to accept the recommendation as presented by Mr. Northwood.
Do we have a seconder? Councillor Leeser? Questions, comments? Everybody's good? All in favor? Carried. Up next, we have giving notice. We have a proclamation. March is National Cerebral Palsy Awareness Month, whereas cerebral palsy is a term used to describe a lifelong physical disability that affects body movement, muscle coordination, and posture. And cerebral palsy is diagnosed in 1 out of every 400 individuals in Canada and is the most common physical disability in children. Over 80,000 Canadians are living with cerebral palsy. And the goal of National Cerebral Palsy Awareness Month is to raise awareness, promote inclusion, and advocate for better research, support, and treatment for those living with cerebral palsy. March is an opportunity to support the CP community, create lasting change, and National Cerebral, missing that, National Cerebral Palsy Awareness Day on Tuesday, March 25th, which is tomorrow, a day for supporters to go green for CP. Now, therefore, be it resolved that I, Tony Cernick, Mayor of the City of Estevan, do hereby proclaim the month of March as Cerebral Palsy Awareness Month in the City of Estevan and encourage all citizens to learn more about the varying impacts of cerebral palsy on individuals and consider how collectively we can improve the lives of those living with CP. Join us tomorrow, March 25th, 2025 for National Cerebral Palsy Day and go green for CP. Do we have a motion to accept this proclamation? Councillor Leeser, second by Councillor Johnson. All in favor? Carried. we have proclamation, and we're also visited by Micah Waleser, who would like to make a comment.
My name is Micah Waleser. I am Councillor Waleser's son. I have cerebral palsy, and I would like to share one fact. It takes 3 to 5 times the energy for someone with cerebral palsy to move than someone without. That is why accessibility is so important.
Thank you for your energy, and thank you for coming tonight. Excellent, good stuff. What do we have up next? We're on to inquiries already. Councillor Baroba.
Thank you, Worship. I just want to say thank you to the bylaw officer. There was a couple of things that we had asked for here to look into, and they were looked into and taken care of, and I drove by one of the properties, and it was very nice to see that they took the time and effort and cleaned it up. So thank you, and hopefully there was no fines involved. I think they did it before that had to happen, so good job.
Excellent. Councillor Mouse.
No, nothing.
Councillor Elliott. Oh, microphone.
Yes, Your Worship. Hi, Aaron. My granddaughter watches every week.
Hi, Aaron. City Treasurer.
Nothing, Your Worship.
Assistant City Clerk, Josh.
Nothing, Your Worship.
Councillor Dabowski. Councillor Johnson.
No inquiries this evening.
Councillor Waleser.
Thank you, Your Worship. To the City Manager, the province announced in this year's budget that there's a 6.3% increase to municipal revenue sharing. Can you tell us how that impacts the city's budget?
Thank you, Councillor Waleser. During our budget deliberations, we do have estimates based on prior year's PST numbers, so I think we were within $1,000 of what was proclaimed by the government, so it doesn't affect what was approved by budget, and you know, we always try to have that calculation as soon as possible, so we're already looking at next year's number, but we always appreciate when the province does recognize that and then continues to increase the revenue sharing based on PST values.
City Clerk. Oh, sorry, Councillor Waleser, you're good? Okay, sorry. City Clerk, good. I'm the last one up. So, yeah, provincial budget came through. We see another 2.5 million for the nursing home. There was some highway infrastructure. Highway 39 continue to be going. Highway 18 to Torquay will be continued to be going. What else did we have this year? Nothing really in our area that I can think of. Yeah, so that's good. It's this year I called it a good and boring budget. It didn't really represent us, but we do have a few things going on. Next year I do expect to see some bigger projects, as in the nursing home, and some money to start rebuilding that coal fleet. So we'll see where it all goes, but that's all I have for tonight. Do we have a motion to move into committee? Councillor Dabowski, seconded by Councillor Elliott. All in favor? We are in committee. Thank you.
If you'd like to share your feedback on the program you just watched, contact us today